So, site seedling. So it's what I'm going to cover during this session is what it is, who the target audience are, a bit of a demonstration of the application, what integrations we currently have and what I'm currently working on, then a little bit about the documentation tutorials that I'm already working on, then sort of next steps and talking about how I would love to get feedback. So what is site seedling? So as I kind of mentioned at PPA, the idea behind this is to give small businesses an opportunity to very quickly build a professional looking website. The target for me is to get that to under 10 minutes between them registering and then being up and running. And hopefully during the demonstration later, I will be able to do that. Otherwise, it's very difficult for me to say that. The idea is that it really handles all the technical stuff for you. So I don't know if either of you have run WordPress sites or anything like that before, and you're managing the updates, the add-ons, you've got to manage the server, all these sorts of things, managing SSL certificates. The idea is that this is going to be set up and running. You don't have to think about the technical stuff, and just allowing you then to focus on building your business. Because ultimately, that's the most important thing. This is done using a number of templates. So it does mean that you're not going to have a completely unique website. That's not what most people need. So we're able to import template frequently asked questions and services to allow for you to have your website up and running. So I want to be very clear with you and everyone else of who this is and isn't for. So this is designed for small business owners. The larger organizations, they're going to have either the money to go and pay a professional to build out their own website, or it's a large corporate, they're going to have an in-house team. It's trying to look for entrepreneurs and other people who just don't have the time or technical skills to focus on building it. But it's also looking for people who just need that place that they can go, oh, here's my website, there's a contact me form on it, so that they can get people getting in contact. As I said, it's not really for someone who really wants to get into the nuts and bolts of editing the HTML and really tweaking how it looks. It's also not for anyone who's looking for a truly bespoke website. These are templates, the idea being that you can get it up and running quickly. And yeah, you're probably going to end up with the same website or appearance as a lot of them, but it's the services, frequently asked questions, the details about you that's going to be different. So, live demo time. As many people have said, never do a live demo. What could possibly go wrong? So, fingers crossed this all goes smoothly. But if not, we'll just laugh at me. Brilliant. So this is site seedling. Very simple. I'm not going to go through the site seedling website, the also web page, because that's not the bit that you really care about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the registering process and then get the website up and running as quickly as possible. For this, I'm going to use one of my domains, which at the moment, as you can see, doesn't work. It's got nothing on it. Now we'll see how well this works. So I'm going to put in some details. I have tried out a blurring thing, so hopefully you won't see all my personal details. Perfect. So after you've registered, what it will do is will ask you to specify certain information about your website. So in this case, it's asking for a name, domain name, and a theme. So for this, I'm going to go for Capital Developments. The website, capdev.uk, the domain I've got here. Now, at the moment, there's only 3 themes, and I'm going to be honest, only the property investor theme is really complete. So I probably will hide the other 2 in the very near future, But now that this is up and running and all the technical code behind it is working, I'm going to be able to start focusing on building out the number of themes that are available. For this, I'm going to select property investor theme. And now we get to the company info. So if you've got the company number, so your HMRC registration or company's house, this, I'm just going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Your company email address. So as I mentioned, on the website, you have a contact form. But it also gives you an opportunity to provide the email address that the users can just email if they want to. So for example, you could have a info@dev.uk. Company address. So this is probably not something we're going to have at the moment, but if you say had a corporate location that you wanted people to go to, this would be it. So for this, points to anyone who recognizes the location. We can also upload a logo, but I'm going to keep it simple for the moment and not do that. Same goes for a favicon, which is the little icon that you have at the top of your browser. Finally, what we have is the concept of professions. So a profession is sort of different types of users. So you might be a property investor, a deal sourcer, IT consultant. Now, the idea behind this is that you specify this, and then in the future, it should be able to automatically filter the services, frequently asked questions, and things like that, and suggest only the ones which are relevant to the type of profession that you belong to. Now, you will still be able to view any profession, any other imported templates for other professions, but by default, it will start off by filtering to just the one that you've selected. So for this, I'm going to say property investor. There we go. I have now registered capdev.uk. So in order to get this up and running, I do need to make some changes to my domain. So what I recommend to absolutely anyone, doesn't matter whether you're running a website through Seedling or just in general, is to run your website through Cloudflare. This gives you an opportunity to speed up your website, handle malicious actors. It just makes your life easier. So even if you ignore everything about Site Seedling, if you do want to start thinking about a website in the future, I strongly recommend getting your domain name set up through Cloudflare. So you can still purchase your domain through whoever you want, but then you point your name servers to Cloudflare. So as you can see, I have 1 or 2 websites going through Cloudflare. So for this one, we're going through capdev.uk. I'm going to change the DNS records. So I will say at the moment, I already have a tutorial on how to do this on the YouTube channel. And the intention is to build these out to have more and more of them. But for the moment, you can see that I have no DNS records for capdev.uk. So what we need to do is create what is referred to as a CNAME record. This is literally the most technical that you're going to do for the entire process. It's about the only thing that I can't do for you. So a CNAME record allows for you to point your domain at someone else's website. And Site Seedling, when it receives the request for your domain, it will then do all the hard work in the background, pulling out the right records and the right theme for you. So we need to specify the @ symbol to say that we want to do it for the whole of the site. Then we say that we want it to point to siteseedling.com, ensuring that the whole thing is proxied so that we get SSL certificate by default. Then we save. That is all the technical work that you actually need to do. So now we'll go back to Site Seedling. So while the DNS entries are propagating across the internet, we'll go through the Site Seedling, we'll go through the different sections, and we'll fill some of them out. And then once that's finished, hopefully that will have propagated through the internet, and we will have a complete website. So top to bottom, frequently asked questions. So a lot of the time you've got your website and you want people to be able to go there and find out certain pieces of information, answer questions. So if you're getting people regularly asking you, I don't know, what process you go through to filter and manage applicants to go into your properties, so new tenants, rather than answering that over and over again, you can have that as one of your frequently asked questions. Now, property investors and all the other professions are going to have quite a standard minimum set of frequently asked questions that they have. So what we've done is we've started building that collection up. So you can come up and import frequently asked questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of these and look at them, and then we'll import them. So frequently asked question, the question, I don't have time to manage the property. Do you provide a service that will help me invest without taking up too much of my time? You can see the answer, obviously where it says company name, that will be replaced with your company name. So that looks like a good one for my property company. And this is literally it. You will go through and start looking at what sets of property investments. Okay, yeah, that's what I do. What do I do to ensure the security and maintenance of properties? And you're starting to go through and look at these. Some of them you might go, can you assist with property financing? Knowing that you don't want to be dealing with the FCA, you can go, you know what, that's not the sort of thing I want to be involved in. So you just don't click on it. Now, rather than going through all of these, I'm just going to leave it at those, and I'm just going to import them. And there we go. We've already got our first 4 frequently asked questions. And you can see straight away, it's had the company name copied into the right place in the answer of this frequently asked question. I'm going to come back to projects, and I'm going to talk about services. So services, very similar to frequently asked questions. Again, you're going to have very similar sorts of services that your different professions are going to have. And I'm going to pick a couple of these very quickly. The concept is the same, so I don't think it's necessary to go through the detail. Negotiation support, property acquisition. Now, I've imported them, but what I have is the ability to completely customize how this works. So while this has a default text and description, you might look at it and go, you know what, actually, I don't like the wording of this. I want to change it. You've got that ability, and nothing that you change is going to be overwritten should I make changes to how these services work in the future. We then have social media. So one of the things we're told all the time is that we really need to build up our social media brand. We have a selection of the main social media sites that you might be using. So Facebook, and you just have to specify your the username or handle that you're using. So for this, I'm going to assume that I had registered the Facebook user account of AppDev, something like that. We'll create a couple of them. Let's say YouTube channel, AppDev. We'll leave it at that. That's going to show up on our website and provide links out to those. Then we have team members. So if you're someone like, let's say the what is it, the Surrey Massive, or the little group of people that are always bouncing around, the Surrey crew, is that?
The Surrey Trio.
The Surrey Trio. This is the sort of thing where you're going to have that all over there. So Surrey Trio. So let's go and say that we've got, I don't know, let's say Sandy Sightwell, director of, let's just say getting stuff done here, shall we? So, well, again, you've got an opportunity to specify Twitter accounts, GitHub, if you know, depending on the different site that you've got. You've also got the ability to specify an image for the team member. And obviously, I've gone straight to ChatGPT and just gone property investor person, right? And we'll create another one, and we'll go for another creative name, Dave Davison. Director of paint. Let's go with that. We'll keep it there. Dave Davison. It went very Ken doll for Dave, poor guy. It's brilliant. So we've got our team members, and you can put as many of those as you want. Obviously, if you've only got one person or a couple of people, you've only got a couple to put in. Then got testimonials. Now, building that social proof as soon as you can is very important. Obviously, we don't have templates for these because they should be authentic and you shouldn't be copying them. And I'm not suggesting that anyone's going to be coming up with fake ones. But so I've got a totally legitimate testimonial from Betty Blocks, who's definitely not a fake person. Again, straight to the chat GPT. Whatever did we do beforehand? And then we've got Mark Manson, Mansion. Yep, both very professional, both very successful, as you can tell by their hair. It's taking a moment to upload. Nearly too much styling in that hair. Oh, the suspense. This is why you never do live demos. Loading file.
The Wheel of Death.
Wheel of Death. Ah, testing my my blood pressure.
You're building a two cornies, so it's broken.
Come on, don't do this to me. This is really going for it. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that in the background, and then maybe Mark Manson will have got over himself and actually uploaded in a minute. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to projects. And projects is where it's an opportunity for you to really talk about what your company has achieved. Again, it's something that I can't really give you an import for because it should be authentic. If you've got your first HMO, you've got your first refurb, this is where you can be uploading those before and after photos. You've also got the ability to upload videos. So I'm going to talk about some definitely serious ones. Home in a day villas, luxury villa development inspired by the ancient city of Rome. Rome. Oh dear. Expression's getting to me. Here we go. And definitely another ChatGPT. Let's see if this one's going to get upset about the upload. Whether he's finished. Oh, there we go. You've finished. Thanks, mate. We'll create and close you. Well, I mean, that's a good reason for me to have a drink, isn't it? Yeah. So, uploading the files. What you could do is create that, add another. Actually, what I would do, so as I mentioned, you've got the ability to upload additional photos. So for this one, let's say that we're going to have a picture of the room. Yes, that's very luscious. I dread to think the amount of money that's going to cost. Create another one. So let's go for the bedroom. I'm not going to go through too many of these. I'm just going to create enough to prove the point. And these aren't taking quite as long to upload. I think the main photo, I have gone for a larger picture for a reason you'll understand in a minute. So it does take a little longer for it to upload. Really didn't think my internet connection was quite that bad. And as I mentioned, you've got the ability to also upload, or not upload, but actually link out to a YouTube video that showcases your property or your project. So do another one. And this one, Trojan Towers, high-rise development. hidden surprises, unmatched elegance. So I'm not going to bother adding lots of additional photos for this, but yeah, definitely something that someone might try and do in the centre of London just to really make a statement. And if you're building that sort of thing yourself, then site Seedling is probably a little below where you're aiming. Come on. Definitely need to increase my upload speed on this internet connection. We'll create. So that's it. I think that was slightly more than 10 minutes, but I was also explaining it and my internet connection. So how does this look? Moment of truth. Oh, moment of concern there. And you can go to this website yourself and see that I'm not doing some sort of voodoo. Um, so you can see we've got standard sort of uploads, sorry, header for services, projects, frequently asked questions, contact us. We've got those social media links that I talked about. So we can go off to facebook.com, capdev on YouTube. And we can start seeing the projects. Rome in a Day Villas. Scroll down, we can view all the information about it. And it will start carouseling through all the photos of the development. We then have a list of all the services that we've selected. And again, these are just the ones that we've gone through and very quickly gone, yes, I'll do that. I do that. I'll do that. We've not customized them at this point, but you can see all of it sort of customized to you. And again, through to our team, depending on how many of the social media icons you give, social media links you give, it'll provide the links through to them there. And testimonials, we've got Mark Mansion and Betty Box. Now, these are over the side. I do need to get that fixed, but it will very quickly, should be quite quick for me to get that resolved. We'll very quickly just go through, again, got a page which links through to our thing, and that's kind of standard sort of web development to help Google with finding and understanding what they're looking at. Another page for the projects, and as you can tell, that large background image is why those images had to be slightly bigger. That's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. And our frequently asked questions, talking through, here's the question, here's the answer. Again, we haven't customized these, but this is enough. This is plenty for just that landing page, somewhere that you can send someone, and they're not going to look at it and go, well, this is, you've not done anything. You've just got a, GoDaddy coming soon. Then finally, the contact us form, where you've got information about the company, contact information, and also a contact form. So if you wanted to enter your information, just say, here's my details, and you can send a message. This will send it through to the email address that you registered with. It won't send it through to the contact one. That's it. That is site seedling. That is what I've spent more months than I care to think about building. But it's there. It's starting to get to the point where it's actually usable, and now it is just a case of building out those themes and tweaking some of the stuff. So go back to the slides and just finish up on those. One of the things that I didn't show is that while you can get your website up and running, there are integrations that you can start looking at. So if you want to start looking at Google Analytics, how many people are coming to your website, Google Search Console, and understanding what sort of sites, what sort of search terms your website's appearing for, and also Cloudflare Turnstile. So this is sort of a capture that stops spammers from sending lots of messages through your contact form. I'm currently in the process of working through a MailChimp integration. So the idea being that you can create pages where either users can put in their email address and say, hey, I want to join your newsletter, or if you want to start providing a let's say, a lead magnet. So similar to Progressive, where they give you, oh, come to this 10-minute video and enter your email here, and we'll send you a PDF of Kevin's latest hairstyling tips. Captures your email, and then you're in that sort of chain for sending emails. And this is a good way to try and build your community. I'm still working on the documentation. As with most developers, it's the last thing that I do. But I am starting to build that out, and also building out the sort of video tutorials on how to use site seedling, how to customize things, how to add your Google Analytics or Google Search Console. I have to admit, I don't like the title of this because it sounds far too progressive property and your special access and exclusive offer. In short, and as I mentioned at PPA, I am quite keen to see if people are able to use it, test it out, and let me know how they find it. So I'm giving anyone who's interested in trying it out 2 months of just free, unrestricted access to try it out, test it, see what they find. And if it is something that they find that they like and they just want to leave it running, if you just let me know, I'll change your account so that it's got a lifetime discount on the retail price, so that it's cheaper forever. And one of the things that I'm quite keen to do is capture any feedback that you have. Obviously, I'll take any feedback you have now, but also if you do use the site and do want to by submitting any feedback, I am trying to capture it in one location. So in the user menu, there is a feedback option where you can enter your feedback, and it's all collated into one place to allow me to just start working through it as a backlog to things to fix or improve.